began when I got a call from a guy named Jerry Smith.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Look at your child.
Whoa.
No, we are just up to our neck in terrorism.
You see what happens, Larry?
Well, as you can see, we're very weird.
Can do.
Welcome to my mind.
Nibble my ear.
Live from the new kingdom. It's the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Joe,
Incorrect.
Rich.
That is to say, my point is this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray! My name's Midnight Mike, and Cretched is over there on screen.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. Medications don't work.
Medications
I've been here for 7 years.
I've been here for 7 years.
Nothing works here.
Nothing works
I
here.
hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years. I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I hate this place. Nothing works here.
Really hates this
The
place.
medications don't work.
That's a rare full clip right there. No Joe today.
Is he buried in snow?
He's outfitting his car with snowshoes, snow tires.
Horseshoes.
I don't know. He said something about cars, and
That's all he said.
car.
I can't be there today. Car.
Something going on with the car. Just be ready. Car.
So I used to work with it when I lived in Spokane, Washington, which experiences a pretty hefty weather every year. I used to work with a guy who would wait for the first snow and then take his car in to get snow tires put on.
So he'd wait for the initial blast. Did he have a reason why? Was he just
no, I think he was just
procrastinator?
really bad at. Yeah, he was procrastinating, really bad at planning, and so he would wait for the first snow, and then, like everybody else, drive down to the place to get his tires changed. And he would always send this stupid message. It was like clockwork. I worked with the guy for 4 years, like every year. And it was like, oh, I won't be in until later this morning. I'm getting the snow tires put on. And the rest of us in the office are like, yeah, we did this weeks ago. So what's your deal?
Well, the snowpocalypse is not but, I would say, according to the news, about 2 hours away for here in central Ohio. We will see what happens. We went out to the market this morning and to do some shopping, and we noticed that a good chunk of the staples, staple foods are gone. Like the bean.
Why are you buying staples? You guys like doing
No,
office work?
the staple foods, like beans, pretty much all wiped out. People love beans during blizzards, it turns out. And cereal. Cereal is a big commodity. Like there was just a huge swath wiped out. Absolute devastation in the cereal aisle. Bam. But
what about bacon or apples?
We don't have we don't get our bacon or apples from the grocery store, so I can't really speak to how they are impacted.
Food, bacon, ham,
apples. Food, bacon, ham, apples.
I forget what the context of that was, but that's like
He was talking about inflation and how it's better now than under Biden. I think under Biden everything was impacted: food, bacon, and ham.
Food, bacon, ham, apples.
Yeah.
I like how he pauses there, trying to think of like
what else is
something
there?
else that people eat.
What else do I like to eat? I like food. I like bacon and ham. And
Separate.
then
Like
I got to throw something in there to be healthy. I got to
some bacon.
I got to fake like I'm healthy. I put an apple in there.
He does what he calls a pig out meal, where he has some pork chops, get some bacon, get some ham, just go all in.
And
some
so
chitlins.
Food's gone.
Head
people,
cheese, some sweet bread.
all the food's wiped out. And even though in Ohio, we're pretty used to this kind of weather, it's not that big of a deal, but still, people are panicky Pete's. I think people are addicted to the anxiety. They're addicted. They look forward to having some sort of crisis to confront. And so for here in Ohio, it is just yearly snowfall and cold weather. So
I was going to say, so I'm looking at your weather forecast, or not you. I'm looking at the weather forecast for Columbus, Ohio.
yeah.
It's going to snow tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be cold, probably a little bit colder than normal. It's going to be 10, 19, 13, 16. So that's probably a little bit colder than it normally is.
Yeah.
But there's no snow forecast after tomorrow. So it's just going to be cold and clear, probably bright and sunny too.
here.
So to your point, it's like, okay, you guys are just getting like the edge of this giant storm. But
Yeah.
I think I partially agree. People like having something like this to focus on, to fret about, to be concerned about, to talk with all their other crackpot friends on Facebook. However, I would go one step farther and say that, or one step further technically, people do whatever the TV tells them to.
Yeah.
And the TV is you're being murdered. You are going to get killed by this snowpocalypse.
Yeah. And so people go out there and buy just armfuls of beans and cereal and leaving nothing left for us. And then also toilet paper. There's a big run on toilet paper, just like COVID. So people are really panicking. And it's just normal stuff.
What
it's
is it
normal
doing
weather.
with toilet paper?
Well, you got to wrap the beans in something. And so you got to wrap your beans in toilet paper for storage.
Or are they wrapping themselves like mummies in toilet paper because that's extra insulation, so then they can put on their coat?
That
and go
makes
outside.
more sense. You stuff, you have a regular winter coat, and you stuff toilet paper down the sleeves, so you look like that kid from the Christmas Story.
I can't lower my arms.
So that's what's going on here, people.
Well, I guess we'll wait for stories. I know there's some parts of the country. I have some friends in like North Carolina and places that don't get true winter snow. That this is going to be a disaster for them, not from the standpoint of how much damage the weather's actually going to do, but the reaction of everybody else.
Yeah, of course. It's not the storm. It's how people react to it. It wasn't really COVID to a certain degree, but it was really how people reacted to it. So we'll evaluate. We'll report back at length on Wednesday after everything is good or bad. We don't know. So let's move on, Cratchit, shall we? Let's move past this. And
You don't want to talk about the weather anymore?
No, people don't want that.
I was going to give you a real-time update that just came through about 14 seconds ago. My phone just made a whole bunch of bing-bong noises.
Oh, wow.
From my friend in North Carolina who says we had a meeting yesterday chatting about other stuff. He bought a small generator. We were talking him through the process of wiring the generator to actually run the circulation fan in his furnace so he can now maintain, because he has gas for heat.
Yeah.
He can now maintain his heat without power to his house.
Whoa.
So he's got, as long as they don't turn off the gas, because people's houses will explode because they don't maintain this stuff, but he's got gas coming into his house. He's got his furnace will run, and he wired the generator to the circulation fan in the furnace. So now he's got heat throughout his house without power.
All right.
You gotta warn people!
You do have to warn people, and you have to be prepared. And he's doing these things today for the storm that's coming. Is it tonight and tomorrow, whenever it is? So,
Yeah. Well,
as opposed to waiting until afterwards and then freaking out.
Well, there's no better way to prepare than with a nice cup of coffee, which is what we like to drink here on the Saturday show at OBDM. We especially like to drink Fox & Sons coffee. If you haven't grabbed yourself some Fox & Sons, we've talked about him quite a bit on this show. I think the son of Fox & Son, he is in the Discord. He is a big supporter of this show.
Well, Steve Fox is in there, too.
And we want to just say, hey, check out Fox & Sons. We'll put a link in the description of this video and this podcast. Go click on that link for Fox & Sons Coffee and put in, is it code word?
There's two of them.
And OBDM.
And OBDM. You can use either one.
Yeah.
You get it's like 15% off. It's a good deal.
And I got to say, my favorite blend is the Ethiopian. I like the Ethiopian coffee that they got over there. It's got the right amount of earthiness, but not too dark. And a nice punch of caffeine to really wake you up in the morning. And like I was telling Steve, like, I don't drink coffee on the show Wednesdays. I was like, Saturdays, that is my time to shine with Fox and Sons coffee, big time.
I have it all. So I had 4 cups this morning. This is cup 5 and 6, and over here is 7 and 8, all stacked up ready.
Oh my Lord! Woo!
I highly recommend the Electric Boogaloo is by far my favorite, but the La Flor Guatemala is a good blend as well.
Yes.
I had coffee with McCully half an hour ago.
Half an hour ago.
He was probably drinking some Fox and Sons coffee.
Coffee's for closers only.
Yeah. It's true. Boy, we got I got
second place, a set of steak knives. Third place, you're fired.
we got a lot of news to get through. What do you want to do that follow up real quick? Since it was pretty much one of the stories we covered at the end of last year, or do you think that's like too lighthearted? And we start off a little heavy.
Let's start with that. By the way, Steve is in the he's in the Twitch chat, and he says Ethiopian Natural is the one you're referring to.
Oh.
I do want to recommend also, it's brand new, and Steve hasn't announced it yet, but they have a Somali blend where they ship you an empty bag but still charge you money.
Yeah, well, they have integrity, and that's their business model.
It's got some misspellings on it too.
Let's do a little follow-up news here, big time.
Some breakfast news.
Yes, actually some breakfast news. So last episode we talked about the TMZ article with William Shatner being photographed driving around, I believe, L.A., eating a bowl of cereal. We read that article. We couldn't get confirmation on whether or not it was...
Well, you tweeted at him immediately and said, hey, what kind of cereal was this?
They speculated in the article some sort of bran flake, but we didn't know. I think during that segment, we speculated that, is this some sort of work by Shatner? Like, who drives around eating cereal? It's very impractical to do. You do that if you want to be seen, and his milk is just sloshing around. So it seemed like it was some sort of work by Shatner himself. And I'll bring this up on screen.
Hey, can you drop kick the image feed? It's stuck again.
Yeah, there it is. There's Kirk's Warp Speed Whoppers, his official brand of cereal that we'd like to imagine that he would create. So Shatner, with enough controversy and pressure put on him, he had to come out and speak out about this. It was very controversial. Well, you think about it. If you can get ticketed for talking on your cell phone while driving, imagine the fines they could levy against you when you have no hands on the wheel eating cereal. I mean, come on. It seems
that's a good point.
Quite dangerous. But here's Shatner confronting this controversy and speculation about what was going on that day, that fateful day.
Fiber in its various forms, and of course fibers, cereals, it's an absolute necessity for good health. And the more I think about it, the more important it becomes to me. And that old adage that your health, there's nothing better for you than your health, I know firsthand how health is so important. It's even a cliche to say so important. It's of the utmost importance in your life. If you don't have health, you don't have love, you don't have ease, you're permanently disturbed. With health, equanimity, love, and you can appreciate everything and everybody around you. Fiber.
So that was a hell of a commercial, and William Shatner tweeted, and yes, it was Raisin Bran at Kellogg's US #ad. So this entire thing, from the TMZ article, and I bet Shatner's people called the paparazzi to say, hey, Shatner's going to be at 5th and Main. Make sure you get a picture of this lunatic driving around eating cereal. And then that got circulated around, wait a few days, then Shatner comes out on social media, and it's a great ad for Kellogg's and brand cereal. And it targets the audience, of Star Trek fans 80 plus? So,
which is most of them.
There's a lot of us out there. And so Shatner came out and admitted it was an ad. It was a work. It was an ad.
Well, he didn't quite say that. I'm wondering if it's more of like he's trying to back into an ad to say to Kellogg's, hey, look how much attention I got just eating your cereal, and here's why cereal's important, so maybe you give me a phone call and we'll talk about doing some more appearances here.
I don't know. I think it was, in my opinion, it was an ad from the get-go. It was quite the work. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but why didn't he have like a Kellogg's logo on the bowl or something?
Fair enough. I guess he wanted to build mystery and mystique for people to speculate what kind of cereal, like what we just did on the show, that Shatner would eat on the go. And it turns out it was Raisin Bran by Kellogg's, the American company. And, so Shatner came out, talked about that. And people are tweeting at him below, said, hey, it looks like, I'm not sure if this is a real box, but it looks like there was a co-brand between two scoops of Raisin Bran and Star Trek, I think maybe 4. And was there some sort of co-brand back in the 80s with that? Maybe.
Was there?
You have to take a look at that. And then people are tweeting at Shatner with gifts that looks like Shatner orgasming when he's eating. So that's very nice. I'm sure William Shatner appreciates that. And then...
what do you mean looks like?
Well, I mean, look at this gif. It looks like he is really enjoying his Raisin Bran. Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like.
Well, he posted here, he tweeted out, he said he's off to see Kellogg's.
Yeah, exactly. He's off he's got a brand deal right here. Look at this. Like, this is the next tweet. I'm off to see Kellogg's. Well, is he like, I'm off to see Kellogg's because I'm in trouble, and so they're going to scold me, or I got a brand deal, and this is going to be some sort of relationship that we're gonna build together. You're gonna photograph me eating Raisin Bran in various different activities, from going
various activities. Yeah. So it's a typical cereal commercial, but everybody in the commercial is William Shatner.
Yeah. So because William Shatner went to space, he could have ate Bran cereal on Blue Origin and maybe even SpaceX. You can have him any activity that William Shatner does. That's an opportunity to get Kellogg's in there. And I think it's a great opportunity for both people. Unfortunately, now when I probably get my picture with Shatner this next year, it's going to be me, Shatner, then a big giant box of Raisin Bran behind us.
He's going to make you hold the Raisin Bran
yes,
box.
He will. So everything's going to be co-branded Raisin Bran. I don't want to be. He's going to dress up like a California raisin, and he's going to dance around.
That wasn't Kellogg's. That was Was that Post? Who did that one?
I don't know, but Shatner doesn't remember either. He's going to dress up like the raisin, regardless of whose brand it is. So, big follow-up there, and quite the work by the Shat Man right there.
It's all nonsense.
Yes, I still like to think that this was not planned. This was just him being him, eating his cereal. He got caught, and now he's backing his way into a deal with Kellogg's. So good for him.
Either or, it's going to pay off for Shatner regardless. So,
Shucky ducky quack quack.
Yep, shucky ducky.
So somebody found a thing here where there's Shatner endorsing all brand cereal way back in this must have been the 80s. It looks like the 80s.
Quite a generalization because not all brand cereals are the same. We know that.
All brand, the brand. All brand, sir. Taking the all brand challenge. Like colon blow.
Yeah, like colon blow. Like that is incredible. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find that.
Apps, websites.
Oh my God. I didn't press that.
What is happening?
Yeah, this is see here. Yeah, colon blow. There's some more news out there, people, other than cereal news related to...
Oh, it's all I have is cereal news.
Okay, cereal news related to Shatner. Okay, we're going to move on.
Here on Shatner Breakfast Cast.
Yeah. Just a quick one right here. Maybe I shouldn't say. Maybe this is going to be a very lengthy story. I don't know. I'll bring it up on screen. This is the first time I've heard of this conspiracy theory, but we're going to talk about it right here. Bizarre conspiracy theory claims Earth's gravity will stop for 7 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This came up several weeks ago.
Well, the time is now.
NASA knows about it. It's in August, and they're all prepared, and they're going to hide it from you, and everyone's going to die.
Okay. Well, the idea seems to have stemmed from claims of a leaked NASA document known as Project Anchor. We've heard a lot of out there conspiracy theories over the years, ranging from Earth being flat to the Roman Empire being a hoax, but this latest one, which started doing the rounds on social media recently, is perhaps one of the weirdest ones we've heard in a long time. The idea is essentially that on August 16th, 2026, at 1900 hours, 33 minutes Eastern Time, Earth's gravity will simply switch off for a period of 7 seconds, and that NASA knows all about it and is covering it up. Wow.
I'm upset by this.
Okay, let's just take that at face value, Cretchen, as fact. That would be absolutely devastating, wouldn't you think?
No.
Why
I don't
not?
think people would notice.
You don't think people would notice if...
What do you think would happen? Let's play devil's advocate. What do you think is going to happen? Are we all going to fling off into space? Is that what you're getting at?
No, everything just kind of floats a little bit. It floats, and maybe for 7 seconds we can float a few feet up in the air.
Why would you float up?
Okay, you float to the side. You float.
No, I'm just saying. Let's say gravity stopped. You would have to create. Let's look at the laws of motion. You would have to create a motion. You have to jump up to start going up if there's no gravity.
I'm sure that there would be people.
Most people are sitting on their asses in front of their laptop jobs and their tickety talks. They ain't going anywhere. If you're in an airplane, it's going to continue going at this. Let's say, okay, maybe the altitude changes or something, but you're going to continue in the plane. You're like, oh, look, we went up 1,000 feet in altitude. That's weird.
I'm thinking
there could be some people, maybe like you're walking to the top of the steps and you happen to get to the top of the steps before the gravity shuts off, and then you float up and you bump your head on the ceiling, and then you're like, that was strange.
Bare minimum, people are going to be vomiting all over the place. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's bare minimum. But I think there could be, if this really happened, this could be absolutely devastating, but who knows?
I'm curious how they're going to cancel out the mass of the entire planet Earth for 7 seconds.
Well,
because that's where gravity comes from.
Yeah, well, the basis for this bizarre claim is an alleged leaked NASA document about something called Project Anchor, a document that doesn't actually seem to exist anywhere online. So that does seem to be a problem. The idea actually caused a great deal of concern, in particular regarding potential consequences for everything and everyone floating freely and then falling back down. Some have suggested that 40 million people could die from falling injuries. So there you go. Some people ran the numbers, Cratchit, and it's 40 million people.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
So 40 million out of 8 billion. So we wouldn't notice that either.
Probably not. You might know somebody, but they didn't say die. Just they could die from falling injuries. But NASA, however, has since moved to downplay the concerns. Quote, the Earth will not lose gravity on August 12th, a spokesperson told Snopes. Earth's gravity, or total gravitational force, is determined by its mass. The only way for the Earth to lose gravity would be for the Earth system, the combined mass of its core, mantle, crust, oceans, terrestrial waters, and atmosphere to lose mass. Oh, so he's basically saying the entire Earth is just going to collapse. Whether this response will be enough to dissuade conspiracy theorists, however, remains unclear.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of the more bizarre ones, and this is, I would say, a good piece of, would you even call this disinformation or just crap information?
This is crap information.
This is crap information.
This is the stuff that floats through Reddit and everyone posts about and whatever, and then they it's just like, of all the cool things out there we could be talking about, you're wasting your time with this.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. But if it does happen, I mean, I certainly will eat my words, won't I? Yeah. But I mean, luckily,
no. Here's what's going to happen. Let's again, devil's advocate.
Okay.
What happens You're going to come on the show and a couple of days afterward. What day was it? August 20?
Is that a show? August 16th. Is that a show day?
Find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
No, it's a Sunday.
Okay.
So you'll come on Wednesday and talk about how you were working and you were on the phone with someone trying to reset their account because they locked themselves out of their files again, and some of the stuff on your desk floated away, and then you had to spend the day plugging stuff back into your workstation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And one of the goats got outside the fence, and you had to chase down the goat.
That would be pretty upsetting. I would say that. Yeah, I would be very concerned for my my birds and goats outside. They're not tethered down. I guess what you're saying, I need to go out there at right around noon and start tying down my goats.
Mm-hmm. Strap them down.
I got to anchor my goats to the ground and my chickens. They're not going to like it, but I'll do it.
So I will say I'm going to hedge my bets on this one because maybe it does happen. I'm going to buy stock in duct tape.
Oh, yeah.
Because if not, I'll own a bunch of duct tape. But otherwise, when people go out panic buying duct tape to strap themselves to things, I'll be in good shape.
Yep. I just wanted to bring it up. That was a bit of a goofy one, but it might lead into this next thing I got. It might be somewhat information adjacent. We'll find out. Okay, this gets wild, and this is a bit of a longer segment here, people. So strap in.
Ooh.
We're gonna go into UFOs, different disinformation, Nazis, Nordics, reptilians, and the whole, I would say, modern history of UFO mythology.
Are you going to touch on ultra-terrestrials?
They don't really come up in name, but kind of. They do. They don't come up. They're not specifically mentioned, but we'll start.
I'm just trying to think, what else can we throw into this pile here?
It's going to be a lot of stuff.
Vril Society?
But, yeah, you can definitely put those guys in there, in this, yes.
New Schwabenland? What else can we get into?
Absolutely falls into this conversation. Absolutely. This comes from, I believe, originally posted by The Atlantic. This is reposted by MSN. And here is the headline. Teenagers are pushing Himmler's favorite myth.
Oh, really?
Yes. Himmler. Heinrich Himmler.
Hey, roll that image feed again. It's something's going on there.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I love that.
Any of my cleverness here.
I love that. We got Shatner with the raisin bran shirt on, and he is single-handedly holding down all the people that are floating away because of our our gravitational anomaly here on Earth in August. I think what you're insinuating here is Shatner is so big he has his own gravitational field. He's not losing weight; he's gaining mass.
He's prepared. He's strapped himself down first.
He is very safety conscious. But here is the article here. So Heinrich Himmler and other Third Reich occultists in the 1930s latched on to a strange idea that the Aryan race was not the product of evolution, but descended from semi-divine beings who left the heavens and established a secret civilization on Earth, possibly beneath Central Asia. Like I said, this is something that I believe was initially posted to The Atlantic, and now this is being put out there again by MSN. These are some heavyweights put this out there. So Himmler, the head of the SS, was so enthralled by the possibility of what he considered the celestial proof of the superiority of the white race that he provided funding for an SS expedition to Tibet back in the 1930s, 1938 specifically, in hopes of locating this utopia, according to Black Sun, a 2001 history of Nazi occultism by the British historian Nicholas Goodrick. So almost a century later, this idea of the lost Aryan civilization called Agartha has caught on again, this time with teenagers posting memes online. If you're older than 25, you likely missed it. But over the past year, memes about Agartha, a mystical underground city at the center of the earth full of flaxen-haired, blue-eyed people, kept going viral and have become a staple of the youth internet. If you search for Agartha on Instagram, you'll find dozens of videos, view counts in the millions, many more in the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. And so I think that Sam on Doomscrolling has played quite a few of these AI examples of this Aryan civilization at the center of the earth, specifically underneath Antarctica, as far as I know. And this legend has persisted for a long time as part of I would say, mainstream UFO community belief when it comes to crashed alien technology, what the Nazis knew at the end of World War II, possibly leading to Operation Paperclip. So there's it touches on some real events and it mixes in some of the fantastical, provable stuff.
Well, and don't forget Operation High Jump, where they went down to Antarctica with right after the end of the war with the largest armada ever sent down that way just for mystical research.
Yeah, it's mixing fact and possible fiction into this wild tale. But back to the article here. Before Christmas, the White House shared a Department of Homeland Security meme that has many of the attributes of the Agartha phenomenon with a festive theme. Santa in front of a subterranean snowy workshop with Earth's core in the background, overlaid with the text Christmas after mass deportations. John Lewis, a researcher at the George Washington University program on extremism, who has written about neo-Nazism, told me he saw the image as a clear reference to online Agartha content. So leaning into the Nazi Himmler belief that the white race comes from divine beings from the center of the earth. When asked whether this was an Agartha reference, the White House press office responded by email that 4 people had to Google what Agartha was, and we're still not sure. What are you talking about? And okay, so
why are they contacting the White House?
To see why they posted this Christmas meme with Santa at the center of the earth.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay,
that's why. Yeah, so they weren't sure about that. So this is a very long article about extremism, leaning into this Nazi mythology, and mythological belief that the white race is from some divine entities at the center of the earth. And they go on to reference here Nick Fuentes and white supremacy. They don't really mention UFOs in here, but this is how it winds up. This is the end of the article.
By the way, they only mention Trump once in this entire article. I'm disappointed.
So here's the last 2 paragraphs of this article. There's unfortunately no shortage of angry, largely white men who are looking for justifications to commit violence. We've seen anti-Semitism, but that drives so many times. Lewis said, recalling several mass shootings in the past decade, Buffalo, Charleston, Pittsburgh, that were carried out by white supremacists who had been at least partially radicalized online. Nearly everyone posting about Agartha knows it's not a real place. A certain subset, though, want Agartha to be more than a myth, as Himmler did, and for the United States to be the white ethno-state that their fantasies are. Regardless of their politics of any individual poster, that's their ultimate point, to finally make Agartha real.
That was a huge leap from the second to last sentence to the last sentence.
Yeah.
To say anybody who posts this stuff wants to kill all black and brown people.
Yeah, I don't even think they went into, pardon my language here, just shit posting, putting up stuff for the sake of getting people riled up, or just because you like it, just because it's funny, leaning into memes, taking them to the furthest possible extreme, just for the sake of it.
I take the things you believe in farther than you ever could.
Exactly. We ultimately do live in Ultimate Warrior's world here.
In this normal world, physically, none of us can live forever. I come to take what you believe in further than you ever could.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like the point of most things online nowadays. But I read this article, and I was like, I mean, it does touch on some UFO myth. It touches on some things that are true, what the Nazi occultists did believe. But then it also goes into, obviously, unprovable things. The things could be true, but ultimately unprovable, specifically when it comes to subterranean deities. And furthermore, the UFO program that the Nazis may have been running towards the end of World War II. It's all speculation. We know that they had some high-tech stuff. Whether or not the Nazi bell is what people speculated to be, which is some sort of like red mercury advanced propulsion system that just got out of control, or they were secretly communing with reptiles, the draconians. That's speculation. That goes into the Vril Society and how the Vril Society influenced part of the Third Reich and created this whole subset of occultists within the Third Reich that drove some of these belief systems. Now, to switch over to a different part of the UFO kind of mythology and disinformation, we have Tom DeLonge. You know, Tom DeLonge was part of the Stars Academy. I think he is maybe in name still with them, but he has since gone back to being a rock star. Something happened to where maybe he got disenchanted with the entire organization. Perhaps he needed to make a little bit more money. And Blink-182, still a huge money maker. Those guys are on tour. They're banking. They're more popular now than ever. They just have a huge fan base. But during the time when Tom DeLonge was starting to get his feet really planted into the Stars Academy, 2016, 2017, he was having conversations with Jacques Vallee. Now, Jacques Vallee, noted author, I would say when it comes to integrity and actual perspective on the UFO phenomenon, not just like craft, but also the paranormal aspect of it. He's pretty measured, and he doesn't align himself with, I would say, one group or the other. But Tom obviously knows about Jacques Vallee, and Jacques Vallee was curious about Tom, and they had a conversation back and forth. And so during these conversations, Tom was telling Jacques Vallee what he was being told by these intelligence officials and four-star generals that were giving Tom DeLonge the full story of the UFO phenomenon as they know it. And so I'll start off right here. This is from I'll post the entire YouTube of this guy talking about it. I think Jacques Vallee has released and written a book of all his notes of his conversations with Tom DeLonge. And it's pretty enlightening about what Tom was thinking at the time, what he was being told, versus what Jacques Vallee's thought process was when it comes to this story being told about UFOs and what the mission of the Stars Academy was, what their mission, what their story they wanted to push out. So I'll bring this up. I'm going to, it's mostly audio here, people. You don't really have to see it, but I'll put it up on screen as best I can. Here we go. So right here, this comes from channel Jason Somoza, and he's going through this conversation between Jacques Vallee and Tom DeLonge.
As Vallee speaks with DeLonge more and more, He moves from being impressed about his advisors to becoming worried about what they're telling him. He documents an interaction in an entry from June 2016. Tom DeLonge calls me about the latest WoW revelations from his advisors. The new storyline goes back to the Greek gods, creating a hybrid race of Nordics, hence the German esoteric traditions, that led to the German saucer prototypes in the 1930s. But the full power wasn't realized by the Nazi until they went to South America, gained the ancient Mayan knowledge, and those Nazi are in Antarctica. None of this makes sense, but high-powered military leaders are involved, along with senior managers at the Skunk Works. As Vallee would continue to meet with DeLonge, he would keep documenting the strange and mysterious things that he was hearing from his advisors. Firstly, that there are hypothetical Nazi geniuses in the wings, presumably the wings of our world today. Next, they've been saying to him very clearly that the Nazis had contact with the phenomenon. Next, Vallee documents multiple topics that DeLonge's advisors were covering: Nazi sources, Antarctica, claims of contact in South America, and speculation about Roswell. Well, next you might ask, what was it that they were saying about Roswell? Vallee continues, in the cockpit of the crashed disc at Roswell, they found two bodies, an Atlantean and a German pilot, Tom said flatly. And finally, Vallee documents Tom meeting with an admiral who brought up ancient Greece, Athens, and Sparta, the Athenians, and the bugs. For those of you who've listened to the original DeLonge interviews, he often hints at some of these topics. Antarctica, Atlantis, the Nazis maybe having done some pretty impressive stuff, but he never fully ties it all together. But here in these journals, we get a consistent, clear narrative of exactly what he was being told by his advisors. And it looks like it goes something like this. There are different species of non-human intelligences. Firstly, there are these Atlantean Nordic beings, and then there's what he calls the bugs. These groups clearly have been in conflict based on the journal entries, whether that's in the original Atlantean world that he was being told about, potentially in ancient Greece, in Sparta and Athens, and even in the modern world today. The Nazi made contact with one of these groups, presumably the Atlantean Nordic group, because later a German Nazi would be found in the crashed disc at Roswell with one of these Atlantean Nordic beings. According to the same mythology, the Nazi went to South America and not only had further contact, but discovered some sort of strange ancient Mayan mystery which helped them in their quest, and those Nazi ultimately ended up in Antarctica and were doing something down there. Most importantly, those Nazis that are being described in that mythology are also being described as being in the world today. And this is important because it takes the story that DeLonge is being told from just an interesting myth to something that is a tangible reality in how we think about the world. And the idea was that this story would be disseminated to the youth. As we're going to see a little bit later, that program continues, and its implications could be profound, not just in terms of how we think about non-human intelligence, but maybe even the idea of whether or not we would invade certain countries.
And this is a fairly long and worth it to listen to. I'll bring up just a few more clips on this. And as Jacques Vallee is talking to Tom DeLonge, and Tom is conveying what he's being told by these 4-star generals and CIA guys, Jacques Vallee is like trying to push back a little bit. It's like, listen, it's interesting stuff that you're being told, but there's no proof that the Nazis did X, Y, or Z. There's no proof that they did this. And it's like Jacques Vallee is under the impression that this is the story being put out there, and there's some reason. And while it might not hinge on any sort of absolute fact that the Nazis are behind this, but these 4-star generals want this out there. And they want influential people to push it out there. So I'll bring up this next clip. Okay, I'll just play 2 more clips of this. This is about TTSA and big influences.
But if you think that's disturbing, this final detail I'm going to share with you in the video today is going to rock your world. There is another individual who is associated with the To the Stars Academy movement who seems to have been influencing the way that Tom DeLonge was thinking. This person has been associated with some of the most far-out Nazi conspiracy theories that have ever been articulated. According to Ryan Bledsoe, he and his father Chris Bledsoe met with the people from To the Stars Academy, and sitting shoulder to shoulder with them was an individual called William Tompkins.
And I forgot to mention this part just a few minutes ago when we were talking about Tom and Lou. But something that did occur was when they were trying to make my dad a core member of TTSA. They were offering to produce a movie about us. And they wanted Dad to sign a contract where he would have a monthly retainer fee, $15,000 a month for the rest of his life. They would use the Chris Mellon, Chris Mellon, he's one of the core members.
I do, yeah.
He would fund the movie. It would be like a big budget Hollywood movie, but there was a catch. It had to be spun in a way that there was reptilians that eat people. So here's what happened, right? Dad flies out to LA and he meets with Tom and he meets with Bill Tompkins, who at the time of Dad meeting him, he was like 93 years old. Do you know who this is?
I don't.
Okay. You know Admiral Byrd?
Yeah.
From the 40s, right?
Yeah.
So they had the whole like fleet go out to Antarctica and they said they saw like saucers and went to the edge of the world, and they talked about like there's a 8th continent, right? And all that stuff. Bill Tompkins was involved in that whole story. He was naval intelligence, and the idea that they spin is that he was basically the engineer that designed the spaceships for the secret space program, right? I think it's a bunch of garbage, but it's what they were telling Dad, that we fight wars all throughout the galaxy, and we've been to the moon, and there's reptilians there with a base, and they flicked us off when we landed, and we never went back because we've been too scared. And
for those of you who don't know, William F. Tompkins served in the Navy and would later go on to work in the world of aerospace for the Douglas Aircraft Company. And
I can pause it right there. I'll play one more clip here about why the Nazis start. Why are they trying to push this? And even this goes back to like the big book that was put out about Area 51 and what crashed at Roswell there. Like there's like a coordinated effort to get the Nazi mythology injected into the origin of this UFO phenomenon. Is almost as though they need some tangible boogeyman to go after when they announce this. And that there needs to be some sort of a tangible enemy to go after. And I'll play this last clip here, and then we can talk about it a little bit, because it's fascinating so far, considering that Tom DeLonge's involved, and there's not a lot of evidence for any of this stuff. But these stories have managed to be all over the UFO community for as long as I can remember.
perhaps, but how does the Nazi connection help? The idea of an inoculating function is a really helpful analogy. Let's imagine that there is some sort of existential threat impending. Whether or not it's coming in 2027 or 2057 doesn't matter. Let's say that it is known by people inside of the defense and intelligence community that at some point a future generation is going to be confronted by some shocking and devastating information. It's going to completely change the way that we think about our place in the world and could lead to the destabilization of our society if we are not properly prepared for it. The idea of slowly introducing a mythology into the world that could help young people slowly acclimatize to the big concepts actually makes some sense. Why not slowly adjust people before revealing the real information? Perhaps this also makes sense of this distinction between confirmation, this initial soft wave, and then real disclosure, which may be destabilizing. By doing confirmation first, you take a bit of the risk out of the full disclosure. The idea, on paper, sounds relatively reasonable. And you can see how the To the Stars Academy project was tightly aligned with this. The Secret Machines franchise, fiction and non-fiction, trickling new ideas into the consciousness. Then you've got the most recent book as well, Time Rider and the Trinity book. And now there's even another one being written that Jim Semivan has hinted at. But all of these aren't simply mythologies about gods warring in our skies in our ancient history. The To the Stars Academy project has consistently pushed a strange Nazi narrative. In the Secret Machines books, a Nazi theme is prevalent throughout. In the most recent release that they've just dropped, Time Rider, A.J. Hartley specifically documents how some of the characters are supposed to represent a Nazi group.
And so this world of the future, we're talking about like 2157, is a world that is, they say, the sort of pinnacle of human evolution. And the mission that Bowie, that is our central character, is sent on is, he is told, to preserve their version of the present by going back into the past to prevent people from interfering with it. And this is a sort of classic time travel trope. But yeah, the alphas represent, for want of a better term, the kind of evolution of a sort of Nazi ideology.
And Jim Semivan has even talked about the fact that they're going to be releasing a new book soon, which specifically deals with what happened to the Nazis after the war.
But Jim
What do you
Semivan,
make of
CIA.
in that book, like the Project Paperclip aspect of it, and the Secret Machines? There's a kind of major theme of that that had some of them working on the UAP program and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's this goes back a while. It's we have one TTS is working on a story now. I can't get into too much detail, but basically based on how that began and where it went to after the war in South America, and then who got involved and how it got translated.
Is that going to be fiction or nonfiction story?
It'll have to be fiction.
That's a lot of Nazi stuff. But you might be thinking to yourself, look, it's just a bit of mythology. It's just a bit of weird storytelling. It isn't going to have that big of an effect. But before you make that judgment, let me read you a quote from the most recent third book in the Secret Machines nonfiction trilogy. In the book, Lavender and DeLonge document word for word a message that they received from one of DeLonge's advisors. And it says this: Tom, my own sense of taste and propriety is to leave modern German citizens, and especially the modern German state, out of it. Expat Nazis and their spawn hiding in South America? Game on. This note is dated to 2016, in the middle of the period when Vallee was having his conversations with DeLonge. What's so important about this is it shows that his advisors were not simply building a story about Nazis from the distant past, but instead were postulating an aggressive stance against supposed neo-Nazis living in South America today. This, I believe, is what has Vallee so concerned. The To the Stars Academy mythology could easily be manipulated to trigger geopolitical consequences.
And I'll leave it right there. So fascinating speculation right there. And it goes on to say, at least according to Jacques Vallee, that the To the Stars Academy, they're not of one mind. There are people within there that don't like the Nazi angle to this entire thing. They think it taints it, but the 4-star generals, the military guys, seem to really like that. And maybe that's the whole entire angle, is like, yeah, it can have geopolitical consequences, and that when the veil is lifted and people are like, well, we need more of this awesome UFO technology, where do we get it from? South America. We got to go in there full force and take it. Very fascinating to kind of wrap your head around, and calls into question a lot of what the UFO community, myself including, reads, believes, and what may be true, what might be just parroted disinformation. It is murky waters here, Cratchit. This is incredibly murky.
Well, it's also nice to know that there's folks in there trying to push their own political viewpoints into that stuff too. Never let a good crisis go to waste, and it will be a crisis. Because you get something that might be interesting and might have some legs to it, might have some people behind it with some funding, and might start focusing on some interesting phenomenon. I think they're like, you know what? Let's bring politics into it and ruin it for everyone.
So I guess we're of two mindsets. The 4-star generals are correct, and that the Nazis are currently still around. the old school Nazis, still around with UFO technologies, and they're in close contact with the reptiles. So that's a true statement.
Who eat people.
Who eat people. That's correct. Forgot a very important name. Who eat people.
That's right. We're not giving you any money unless you say the reptiles eat people.
Or that is a piece of disinformation that's not correct at all, but there is still some other phenomenon out there that they don't want us to focus on. It's some other phenomenon that acts like the UFO phenomenon, but is not that at all. But these 4-star generals want us to focus on the people-eating aspect of it, if that's even a real aspect.
Well, I think they want to get stuff like that into these general discussions because, and you mentioned it muddies the waters. It also, if you get some ridiculously in there, then it won't get broadcast as wide because that's what they'll focus on. You know, they could literally be sitting there documenting alien technology or interdimensional technology, however you want to phrase it. But then all people are going to hear is, they're lizards eating people. And then it's just, you lose the whole thing.
You focus on that and lose everything else.
Aliens!
Yeah.
Y'all need to be calling damn news!
Y'all need to be calling damn
They
news.
looking at us! But look at that shit!
So yeah.
Where's they're coming to Earth.
Oh, they come to Earth!
There it is.
Y'all need to be shooting this shit right here!
That is true, yeah.
What is it, Mike? Mike, what the fuck is this?
Will you stop yelling?
So in that sense, then yes, I would say that there's definitely people who look for this stuff. They get involved in it so they can steer it or just muck it up so it doesn't get the legs that it should, or the attention that it should, rather.
Yeah, or they're crafting such an outlandish story that when they tell us if they tell us the real one, it's not going to seem as out there, But it did seem, and they did mention in this video that an impending alien threat in 2027. So beware, people. It could be a false flag. They did touch on that throughout the video, where Jacques Vallee and Dr. Stephen Greer don't agree on much. But in this journal that Jacques Vallee put out, he did say he did agree that the way Dr. Greer is positioning some of the information, it does appear, when you combine with what Tom DeLonge was told about the origin of this phenomenon, that you could easily assume that these military people are planning some sort of Project Bluebeam, alien false flag invasion. And
or do they just want to keep the technology under wraps because they're using it for either their own purposes, nefarious purposes, or just, they don't want it out there in public?
Yeah, all that could be at play here. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to move on and talk about some other news. Not unless you have anything else to say about that, Cratchit. No,
I would really like this stuff to get the attention that it really deserves and get some people in there. But every time you start to get a little bit of momentum, you get either some crackpot people in there, or they add. In this case, they were pushing no, mention they're eating people, so we can focus on that, and then that will immediately turn it off in a lot of people's minds.
And remember where we started. We started with memes on the internet about Agartha, the civilization at the center of the earth, with the Aryan race and Himmler, and we stopped at To the Stars Academy, Jacques Vallee, alien false flags, and Nazi Roswell crafts. I mean, it's a crazy thing. There's a lot of information there, and it all could be absolute crap. I tell you what isn't crap is a movie I saw last night with my wife. You can check it out on Amazon Prime. It's called Watch the Skies. Watch the Skies. It's made in Sweden, and it has to do with the UFO phenomenon. I'm not going to reveal too much about it, but it's very well done. It's about this UFO investigative group, like a MUFON of Sweden, trying to investigate UFOs in the mid-90s. And they use interesting techniques to to figure out what may be going on with the UFO phenomenon. Well worth it. I would say the only thing that is a little weird about this movie is the overdub. Not only is it like overdubbed in English, but I think they use some sort of AI technology to overdub the mouth movements of the people. So,
yeah, I was going to say, didn't we talk about this?
Yeah.
This was one where they were doing that, where they're going to do a live dub through AI stuff or something.
They did.
I vaguely recall this about a year ago.
Yeah, and as I was watching it, I was like, I think I remember us talking about this. And I would say that it's obvious when you notice it, but I would say the movie is so good, and it's so I would say a very well written movie when it comes to this subject matter that you don't even care. And I think that there's a bigger point to it, and it's got enough twists and turns to keep you occupied. It does feel very early Spielberg, but it's got enough of interesting ideas to it about the phenomenon that it's well worth your time. It's on Prime. Check it out, people. I think you can, if you got a Prime, you can watch it for free. Yeah, watch the Skies.
I did find an article I put in Carrot Shop from about a year ago, 11 months ago, talking about the AI dubbing of this. So I think that's when we covered it.
Yeah, watch the Skies, or watch the Skis, as you would say.
Keep watching the Skis.
First feature film dubbed entirely with AI sets a distribution deal with AMC theaters. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's an interesting movie. So I'm just gonna recommendation right there. We'll move on. I'll cover some.
Did they have people eating lizard people?
No, no lizard eating people there, but there were definitely some UFO stuff in there. Definitely some. There's some missing 411 related stuff in there too. You can definitely see that angle being played out in there. He's like, oh, I can see that.
Finding people as corpses near water with their clothes neatly folded.
I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, right. I'm not, because I think the movie is good enough to kind of just lead you in the directions that you want to go in. So you don't need me to help you here.
They're squiggly wiggly.
Yeah.
David Paulides.
I will put it on the list of things to possibly watch.
Yeah.
The people at the ranch deserve respect.
Yeah, you got to respect the people at the ranch. Okay.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
What in the world are we seeing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
There's a couple more headlines here. And I'll pass over to Cratch. Well, maybe we'll open the phone lines in a little bit.
Phone lines. Yeah.
So here's a headline when it comes to weird stuff. This West Haven City Council votes to approve funds of $16,000 to solve mysterious hum sound that they're experiencing and hearing there.
What are we doing?
So let's go ahead and listen to see what the locals are saying about this. We talked about the hum out there in the UK. It's been happening all over the world, but now I think this is happening in Connecticut. Yes. Come on, load it up.
Now from West Haven, where residents have been complaining for years about this mysterious humming noise, and they brought those concerns to a city council meeting last night, and council members voted to do something about it. News 8's Kent Pierce has the latest.
Imagine someone running a shop vac outside your bedroom window all night long. And imagine trying to sleep through that.
West Haven residents tell the city council Monday night their experiences with a mysterious hum.
Yeah.
Folks just south of the train tracks near the Orange Line say it just keeps getting worse.
I've been hearing this noise for over 4 years or whatever, and I just thought it was me going a little cuckoo. But it's gotten to the point where it just gets in your chest.
Disruption with our sleep, increased stress, difficulty concentrating.
Kimberly Noons put together an online petition after experiencing her own problems with the noise.
Definitely my mental health, my sleep. I'm not able to sleep with this humming sound all the time.
The city has been working to pinpoint the source. They think they have, but need definitive proof.
There's a lot of assumptions where it's coming from. We have our assumptions as well, but we need to confirm in black and white with an expert, a certified expert.
Motion passes.
Thank you all, Commissioner.
That's why the council voted to spend $16,000 for an acoustic study. That requires microphones set up for 10 days in a row. It's best to do while the leaves are still off the trees and before birds and crickets start making noise.
Oh, yeah.
The test is also weather dependent.
Rain is not helpful because that makes too much noise. If there's no rain in the forecast and the wind is expected to be below 10 miles an hour and we could find a week in there that works, we'll set it up and go.
Let's do it. 30 days after that, they should have the report and an answer to the mystery. Kent Pierce, News 8.
Well, it sounds simple. Even though we've been chasing this humming, this weird sounds all across the country, I guess there's different forms of it. And I'd be interested to hear their conclusions on this. We'll find out.
I do know exactly what it is, and I have an image of the source.
You got the image up on screen? Oh, it's the lead singer from Crash Test Dummies. Yes,
it's
of course.
Brad Roberts. Yeah.
Who
single-handedly?
Yeah, doing the song. He's got nothing else to do. He's not on tour, so are you sure it's not Rogan?
Drives around from town to town in a convertible, just humming. Now, can you edit that into the Crash Test Dummy song?
Oh, I could edit Rogan into it. Yeah, it's not. I don't think he's on pitch, but I can definitely get him in there. Let's see what other kind of stories I got. Let's see here. I do have Texas authorities warn of a new spike in mystery seed deliveries. So
these are the Chinese seeds being sent to people.
It does seem like that. I'm not even looking at the story, but I have no problem blaming China without even reading the story at all.
We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Let's check.
Okay, let's check if it's China. Okay. We probably should give him a fair shake. It's probably not fair to do that. But here it is up on screen. Yeah, Texas authorities warn of a new spike in mystery seed deliveries. Sorry. Some people have been delivering mystery seed packets to Texas residents, and it is by no means the first time. It's a phenomenon that has been going on for years. Residents across the state of Texas have been receiving deliveries of packets containing unidentified seeds from an unknown sender.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
We've seen reports on this before, even as far back as 2020, when local distributors in the state have started to report receipt of mysterious seed packets. According to Texas Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller, there have been another sharp spike in such deliveries this month as well. These packages are pouring in faster and further than ever before. One invasive species, pest, or pathogen could devastate Texas farms, ranches, natural resources, or food supply. Anyone in Texas who receives such a delivery has been asked not to open the seeds, but to instead report the matter as to the agricultural department. Yeah, what kind of people would just start planting these seeds, or maybe start chewing them?
I was going to say, if I recall, there were stories of people eating them too.
like they're like sunflower seeds.
Hey, what is this? I don't know. Should we plant it? No. That'd be bad. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, and just get rid of them. Don't worry. I'll take care of this.
I'll give them a good home.
I like to eat.
But there is like a local story here. Maybe we play that, and we see what the local Texans say about this. Here we go.
State officials are warning Texans to look out for mysterious packages popping up on doorsteps. Some of them are seeds and may pose a threat to our agricultural ecosystem. Sound familiar? Yeah, the first package of the most recent bout from China containing unidentified seeds like the one seen on your screen, and an unknown liquid was reported included back in February of last year. But since then, the TDA has collected more than 1,000 seed packages from across the state, with the last collection being on December 29th. Now, if you receive any packages you did not order, do not open them and immediately report any instances to the TDA.
Now, see, on the package, they say untracked. Like, are you telling me you can't use the full force of the Texas government to figure out where these things are coming from? You can't do that?
It's interesting. It even says untracked on that label.
Yeah. Well,
does that work? Can you put that on mail and just say untracked?
It's untracked. We don't know where it came from.
I don't know. Mystery.
It's bizarre to me. Like, you can't use the full weight of the Texas government, which is quite big, to figure out where this comes from. And by the way, isn't this a federal matter to a certain degree?
If it comes through the U.S. mail, then it becomes something the postal inspectors have to deal with. And those dudes don't fuck around.
Yeah. This seems like almost a matter of national security at this point if these seeds are, if their purpose is to destroy crops or spread pathogens, like they said, we should have some people looking into this. This seems like a kind of a big deal. Is this some sort of a new form of warfare we're dealing with?
Yeah.
Okay, well, seems pretty concerning. Don't want to concern people, but seems concerning.
Here's a story on this from 2020 when they say they solved it from the New York Times. We'll get this into Carrot Chop.
Who was behind it?
And they're like, you know what? Just go ahead. No, we don't give a shit.
Okay. Go ahead and plant them. It's free seeds.
August of 2020.
So why is this story coming back around? U.S. identifies some of the mysterious seeds mailed from China. The 14 varieties identified include common ones such as hibiscus, morning glory, and lavender. Still, experts warn recipients to not plant them. But I really want to plant them.
I have to do it. Well, wait until you get to about the fifth paragraph downward. Guys like, well, I need to.
Last month, a number of states reported that the residents were getting packages of seeds that they did not order. All 50 states have since issued warnings about unsolicited packages. Doyle Crenshaw said he planted some of the unsolicited seeds he got. I told my wife, they don't look like any flower seeds I had ever seen. Mr. Crenshaw said he had
I'm going to put them in the ground.
Mr. Crenshaw said he had to order some blue zinnia seeds from Amazon, but when he got the package about 2 months ago, it contained blue zinnia seeds as well as a seed packet he did not order. Free seeds. The package label read, studded earrings from China. It's a pretty big plant, he said, describing what grew from the unsolicited seed. It looks like a giant squash plant. A representative from Amazon could not be immediately...
I'm going to eat it.
I'm going to eat this stuff. It's a free plant, and people are hungry out there. Americans are hungry, and they're going to eat plants.
If you keep going, it says he called the Arkansas Department of Agriculture. I guess the right move. He called the state government to say, "Can you come look at this?" It says they're going to come out and plant and dig up these plants to figure out what's going on. But there's a comment here that says after receiving these packages, he said he and his wife. Where'd it go here? It says they fell ill and they'll order their seeds from locally from now on. I can't.
Oh my God! Okay, they got sick.
They got sick, but I'm going to eat them anyway.
Yeah, after receiving the packages, he said he and his wife will now order just locally. Okay, let's see here. All right. Well,
it's weird to get. It's weird enough to get stuff in the mail like this you didn't order. But then it's weird to like plan it or eat it.
It is, yeah. Like especially this day and age where like anybody who contacts you on the phone, I'm just assuming they're scamming me. They're trying to scam me. And if you get some kind of package in the mail that's not like you didn't expect, it's got to be a scam. Who's giving away free stuff? Unless it's like a misdelivered package, then if you open it and you like knowingly open a package that's not yours, come on. That's I think I know you think it's free stuff, but it's supposed to go to somebody else. So that's scummy too.
Remember that lady who got body parts sent to her house?
And she opened it up. She thought she got free hands. No, those are my hands.
She tried to plant them.
Yeah.
I'm a grown person.
Yeah. Ah, boy. So that was concerning. And I do have a Bigfoot story. I'll save that for Wednesday. It's been a while that I've had it for about a week or two here, but I'll save that for Wednesday. I want to open up the phone lines right now and talk to some people out there. Let's get this
phone number up on screen here.
Let's get this going. Let's get this. Let's talk to some people out there.
Go ahead and take the phone calls.
And I did check the PO box. I'll talk about the PO box.
Did you get any seeds in there?
No seeds. I got a block of fudge, which I did eat a good chunk of.
Immediately in the post office,
pretty
standing
much
there in front of the box.
I got it looks like some sort of weird doll and some other items. I'll talk about that on Wednesday. Thank you. But let me.
Was the weird doll made out of fudge?
No, it was a non-fudge doll. It looked like a plushie. And I don't know who it came from, but it looks fairly well constructed. So we'll talk about that at a later date. But until then, we're going to open the phone lines, take a few phone calls here. You can go to, here we go. We're going to answer this phone call right now. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, OBDM, Kiss Army, what's up?
Hey, who are we talking? Is this Destro?
This is Destro.
What's going on, Destro?
You really you struck a nerve with me as a history buff with that the whole Nazi UFO segment.
Yeah.
And I wanted to shed some thoughts or some potential light on that. So I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones, probably my favorite trilogy after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The problem is too many people get their sense of World War II or Nazi history, their view of the Nazis from Indiana Jones. I think this occult stuff has been a little bit overblown. So, yes, Himmler was into the occult. Yes, there was Virile Society connections, and there were a lot of occultist elements, primarily in the SS. What the German academics at the time were actually of the opinion of was that the Aryan people were descended from Scythian people who were themselves descendant from the Indo-Europeans. So you see, that's why you have the mission to Tibet. It wasn't as far as, well, look, I'm not, a PhD scholar on the topic, but I've read a lot into it. So I'm not entirely convinced that it was to prove some kind of underground city or, alien origins, but rather that the Scythian people of the Pontic steppe were considered nobility among a lot of the people of the Asiatic Indo-European region. And it actually plays into a lot. Like if you look at the history of China, the history of China pre-communism is essentially a history of the Han people. Now Chinese government is actively concealing or destroying numerous pyramids across China.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that the reason they are doing this is because the genetic, historical, archaeological origins of the Han people also trace back to Scythians, which would have been taller, white, Caucasian, brown, blonde, a lot of red-haired people. You also have red-haired Egyptian mummies, which were through the Ptolemaic line of Greece, which also themselves believed that the Scythian people were of a nobler, higher class in their own history.
But I also, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe a lot of the Bigfoot sightings happen to be of red-haired, coarse-haired, Sasquatch, but also I think the Nephilim, the race of giants that are speculated to have existed, also red-haired giants in giant graves. And I don't know, the red hair keeps popping up over and over again throughout history.
Yeah, actually, recently in the, I would want to say it was around maybe 07 to 010, maybe even earlier, maybe the 05. But early on in the War on Terror, there's a report of an Afghani-based U.S. military unit encountering a red-haired giant in a cave.
Yes.
That's just connecting the red hair story. I don't.
It's hard to confirm that one. It's a fascinating story. Incredibly difficult to confirm at all.
Right. But the Nazi or the German academics at the time, they were really searching. It's unfortunate in some ways because their contributions to archaeological history are really discounted. But there's a book, an ancient book. You look at the Oralinda, which goes into a lot of this history as well. And then you could even look at like Herodotus, considered the father of modern history. In his histories, he writes a lot about Atlantis, but also the Scythian people who eventually, the nobility of like the Goths, which were Germanic, descended from these Scythian people, and that their bloodline, so that it's a controversial topic because the Nazis get into some, taboo topics, but when they talked about Aryan blood being diluted, it wasn't necessarily in and of itself racism in the modern sense of the word, but that in the sense that the Scythians did breed themselves further and further into Gothic lines, what became Frankish lines, Persian lines. That's why Germany, Nazi Germany, actually had close ties with the Iranian government. Most people aren't aware, Britain and the U.S. actually had to invade Iran to secure their supply lines to the Soviets because Iran was essentially on the verge of joining the Axis powers. So, these are the kinds of more, I would say, grounded, still esoteric, still, fairly fringe, still not, hard fact confirmed, but these are some of the more grounded histories that the Nazis were looking into with their expeditions to India, Tibet, China, their status of honorary Aryans on the Japanese wasn't simply realpolitik in the geopolitical sense of the time, but was actually rooted in certain concepts of bloodline history. Japan was a high culture, was viewed that way. So anyway, just wanted to share some thoughts on that. That's a little bit more grounded, not necessarily alien based.
Yeah, well, the alien angle's being pushed, and Tom DeLonge, at least for a certain period of time, wanted us to believe it. And it appears as though he has divorced himself from that line of thinking. And my original thinking at the time that Tom DeLonge was some sort of mirage man may be true, that he was pumped full of the information that these generals wanted him to put out there. And maybe he realized that he was taken for a ride. And it's like, okay, let's go back out on tour. And I'm not going to invest so much of my time and energy and money into this UFO stuff.
It's possible. I'm a big fan of his post-Blink project, Angels and Airwaves as well.
Yeah.
Really talented musician, great lyricist, love him or hate him. If you're a product of the 90s, Blink was huge.
Yeah, I agree. Like, love or hate Blink, he's a great songwriter. You have to have that many notable hits and to be that culturally influential. And yeah, not even Angels and Airwaves, but Boxcar Racer. The guy is he's an accomplished musician, and he is going to go down. He probably will be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Blink-182. So, hey, thank you, Dester. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Bye. He said a lot of stuff there, and he's an amazing caller.
Amazing caller.
Yeah.
Jeff is just full of information.
Yeah.
Great caller, great content, and a crisp phone. I really like that.
Crisp phone.
Yes, we like that a lot. We have time for maybe one more phone call that we have to get to Cretched big time. In fact, you know what? Since we have to get to Cretched, let's just turn off the phone lines.
Let's see if someone else wants to call in. See?
All right. Fine.
See?
Caller, you are on the air.
Hello. Hey, morning, guys. Stan Lasky here.
Stan, we have to make this
Mike,
quick.
you wanted to skip a Stan
I know.
call.
We got to make this quick. We got to get the Cretched. What's going on, Stan?
Just real quick, I sent you an email a couple hours ago. Last night we had the largest drilling rig in North America crash off the road up on the North Slope.
Whoa.
Pretty big deal for us here in Alaska.
I saw that video. It just fell over.
So what does that mean for my oil prices?
Shooting up. No, I mean, unless we get Trump to start drilling in Greenland now. So now we have our excuse to go drill in Greenland. Oh, yes. That's right. My wife reminded me too. So I'm hoping maybe you guys could do an AI of this, but Trump, he's got the Golden Fleet with the battleships. He's got the Golden Dome. Now we need to change the name of Greenland to Goldland. And
I like that.
Justify the people with that.
I once we start drilling up there and it starts pumping money for us, yeah, we can do Goldland. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do see the article here, Stan. Yeah. Largest land drilling rig in North America tips over and caught on fire. Oh, geez. That's really kicking the shins right there. It just couldn't tip over, but it had to catch fire too.
Well, I mean, it's the largest land rig in North America. I don't remember. It was built they mobilized the rig. It was built and finished right before COVID. And then, so the rig had been shut down for a few months. ConocoPhillips was trying to save money on their budget from last year. Basically, they were reactivating the rig. They're moving it from one part of the field to another in the Alpine region near Nuiqsut. And I guess it was 30 degrees up on the slope, which is, it happens occasionally where it gets warm, a little warm spell. So I guess the gravel roads were a little soft, and generally this thing usually moves. My understanding, because I moved a similar rig, Doyon 19, last year, but it was on an ice road, but it also went on the gravel. Usually it moves about 1 mile an hour for that main part of the superstructure and the derrick. So somehow they got close to a soft spot of the road on the shoulder, and it tipped. It was sitting there for a few hours, tipped, and then eventually it toppled over.
Oopsie daisy.
So, they say it weighs 10 million pounds. I'm not sure if the whole substructure with the derrick weighs 10 million pounds.
I can pick it up.
I'm guessing probably more like 5, maybe 6, 7. I don't know. But anyways, big deal here. We'll see what the ramifications are, because there's no other rig that can outdo what that was doing, and I'm not sure what ConocoPhillips is going to do. And right now with the whole global everything, I'm just calling my shot right now. I've said in the Discord, they're getting ready to attack Iran in March.
Okay, Iran in March, which is beautiful time in Iran. It's springtime.
Weather's fantastic.
And so that's the perfect time to attack. And Trump,
spring.
Trump is up on screen right now. Cratchit put him there, and he's pointing to the United States. And there's Goldland, a new Goldland, as labeled on the map. So there we go. You got your wish.
I love it. All right, guys.
Hey, thank you, Stan. I really appreciate the call.
Keep doing a good job, guys.
Stay warm.
Will do.
There we go. We are shutting down the phone lines.
I like how Stan was humble bragging that even though this rig fell over, when he moved one single-handedly last year, he didn't have any problems.
Yeah, everything went fine. Must got a new guy. Blame the new guy. He didn't take the training. But we're going to move over and see what Cratchit has for us. Come on.
We've tried to get in this building. We can't even get in it now. The door's locked.
We didn't try very hard to get in this building.
No, we did not. The door is locked,
Why won't they give us access to this building?
Somewhere here I have some follow-up news. Where is it? No.
Can't find
Here it is. I found it. I have two versions of this story, one of which kind of buries the lead. Let me get this one up. So if you recall, several months ago, maybe about a year ago, we covered a company in Switzerland who's building self-suicide pods.
Yes.
Basically bringing Futurama's kind of, I guess you would call it a sardonic look at things, maybe a bit cynical, of the future. And they had suicide pods for people who just, couldn't continue. Well, now they have a new version. Oops, let me get this carrot shot for you. They have a new version. If you've got family still, and you still want to commit suicide.
Oh, it's fun for the whole family. So
it really is fun for the whole family.
Controversial Sarco suicide pod, new AI feature to allow couples to die together. Wow.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Or one American.
Or one large person.
One large American. One average person in Ohio. So, yeah, the double Dutch Sarco would be big enough for two people who must press their buttons at the same time or the device
What if you just
won't
reach
work.
over and push both buttons?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're double dipping here. It won't start. Turn your key. No, that's just going to stall out. Turn your key.
Why does your suicide pod have an internal combustion engine?
Well, you really got
ill-tuned and poorly maintained engine.
Yeah.
You've got fuel problems.
I don't want to press my button. No, I don't want to press it. No, I don't want to die just yet.
Push the button.
No, I don't want to. I popped the clutch on the suicide pod. I'm really grinding gears. The Sarco pod, short for the sarcophagus, the controversial 3D printed euthanasia device that has drawn widespread attention for its design and purpose, is once again in the spotlight. Its inventors have revealed that work is underway for a larger AI-powered version designed specifically for couples who wish to die together. Why does it need to be AI-powered? That's just a marketing angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is AI really going to provide the people who are already so done with life that
It'll
they just
play
want to
some
press
shitty music for you?
Maybe they'll just play some crappy music based upon, they'll read your facial your facial structure and the emotion in your face, and it will automatically pick out the music that it thinks will be fitting for your end. Yeah. Oh, great. This is what I'm going to go out to. Let's see here. Quote, I'm not suggesting everyone's going to race forward and say, boy, I really want to climb into one of these things. The inventor was quoted as saying to the New York Post, new design called the Double Dutch Sarco would be big enough for two people. Both occupants must press their buttons at the same time or the device will not activate. The inventor said the purpose of the device would use AI to assess the mental capacity of the occupants. Like I said, it's going to read your facial features and mental capacity, and then probably if you're able to go, then you're going to go out together with the music that they choose for you. So,
well, read the next paragraph, which is where it gets really creepy.
One of the parts of the device which hadn't been finished, but it now is finished, is the artificial intelligence. The inventor said, adding that instead of traditional psychiatric evaluations, future users would complete an online test administered by an AI avatar.
So now you're going to let a chatbot kill you.
Yeah. It's going to determine whether or not you are psychologically sound or not. And we do know that these AI models, they'll just make crap up sometimes. So who's going to be checking the application? This is crazy. With the new Double Dutch, we will have software incorporated, so you'll have to do a little test online with an avatar. And if you pass the test, then the avatar tells you, you've got the mental capacity to kill yourself.
It sounds like things are really shitty for you. Push a button.
Yeah, things are not good. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Living the vida loca.
Is that the song everyone dies to?
Yeah, everyone gets that song at the end there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, Man in the Box. How about that? Yes, that makes sense. That's not a song. That's just Freddie Mercury screaming.
I would like to go out to Henry Winkler making funny grunting noises.
We can do that. That would probably just push you over the top to your like mental capacity. Like, just take me out.
Can you do that
please.
with Trump grunting in the background? It's on two different screens for you. I know.
I think I might be able to. I gotta find that. Boy, where did I put the honk? It is called the honk. Where's the honk at? Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can do this really, really quick to get over to Trump.
Yeah. That's the sound everyone's going to hear before they push their button.
Let's see here. A 64-year-old woman from the U.S. used a suicide pod at the Woodland Retreat in Switzerland 2024, prompting a new law enforcement agency to seize the device and detain those present at the time of death.
Yeah.
Initially, the agencies claim that the woman's death may not have been as intended, indicating the possibility of intentional homicide. The Swiss prosecutors...
No, it's cool. She talked to a chatbot first.
No. The Swiss prosecutors, however, decided against pressing international homicide charges. Okay. Oh, jeez. This is just creepy. Just do it like throw yourself in front of a train. That's what everyone else does, right? Go to New York City, find a subway, and then
ruin it for everyone on the commute.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's move on. That was an upbeat Saturday story, definitely.
When I see follow-up news.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of follow-up news, last week, or was it Wednesday? When did we do this? We covered the story about the guy, 2 art students, and one went in and ate the other person's exhibit because he didn't like the AI in it.
Yeah.
How about a little bit of background on that dude?
Yeah. Well, which one, the eater or the artist?
The eater, not the ET.
Okay. I'm not sure if this guy's mentally stable, but
let's ask a chatbot.
I don't know what artist really is. Well, we can meet the Alaskan art student arrested for eating an AI art exhibit.
Okay.
Let's meet him. So this is a conversation with Graham Granger, whose combination of protest and performance art spread beyond campus. AI chews up and spits out art made by other people. So, he's a big guy. It definitely looks like he could eat several pieces of art. It sounds like he'd really put them away. As the use of artificial intelligence in art is hotly debated, one student at the University of Alaska Fairbanks took matters into his own mouth. On January 13th, Graham Granger, a film and performing arts major, was arrested for criminal mischief when he ripped the art made with the help of AI from the wall of a university gallery and ate it in a report in a reported protest, according to the police report. So they put that in there. His motive.
I like to eat.
He was
AI. And I'm hungry.
He was tearing them up and just shoving them in as fast as he could.
I was eating during the break. Eating some art during the break.
Said Ali Martinez, witness to the event. Like when you see people in a hot dog eating contest, he's just going as fast as he could. According to the police report, around 57 to 160 images on the wall. 57 out of the 160 images on the wall were destroyed. When not destroyed, eaten. In the exhibit, Nick Dreyer expressed his struggle with AI psychosis. Sounds like he's a candidate for the pod.
Oh, get ready for it. Here it comes.
During which he said he fell in love with a chatbot that was acting as his therapist. A series of Polaroid pictures depicts the chatbot himself and other versions of them combined. He said that the bot represented his Jungian shadow, which is the repressed, often negative, yet creative part of one's personality. Okay. All right.
What don't you get about it?
Quote, it would have been an awesome performance piece that literally encapsulates the problem with AI art and artists, says Boyer, but he didn't accept Granger's protest as an excuse to destroy his work. Droyer claims Granger's act was akin to slashing someone's tires in protest of the oil industry. He initially wanted to press charges because Granger's act violates the sanctity of the gallery. I don't know, is there really a sanctity of the gallery? I'm not sure if there is.
I think you'd probably go with more destruction of property.
Fuck, I'm gonna eat, goddammit.
Let me in, I'm hungry. But changed his mind, dropping the charges. The state is still proceeding with its case. Dreher thinks that there has to be room for new technology in the art space. AI is a lens, and it's viewing humanity. Some people will see it as stealing from artists. The other way to see it is that it's an extension of humanity. AI art may be a tax on the artist. Tax is a tax that is non-consensual. Some people say tax is theft. That's something we're going to have to wrestle with. He's probably right. There's philosophical questions here, and also, when to eat and when not to eat. I think these guys, the only way these guys can settle it is if they just fight it out in the ring. Mano y mano. There you go. Is this conversation worth it? I see there's an interview with this kid.
They go on and he's talking about what his thoughts are on art and how it bothers him, and he tries to avoid AI, and he doesn't like that AI is you remove the person from it, so there's no critical artistic ability in it. It's just generating stuff based on what it's seen online. So, by the way, someone in the chat did ask him to see who was it there. It scrolled past. Murphy B asked the question, did this guy actually eat it and swallow it, or was he just chewing on these things? And so that was one of the questions. During your demonstration, you didn't swallow any of the exhibit? He said, no, I swallowed some of it. I had really been spitting it out near the end. I didn't want to make too much of a mess, but I also wanted to spit it out in the back of a police car. So
Fuck's
he did
sake,
actually
man, you're
swallow
amateur.
some of the AI photographs, which are, I believe they said they were printed out to look like Polaroids. So I'm wondering what that ink and crap is doing in there.
Yeah, I don't know how your stomach's going to process that stuff. It sounds like it might back you up a little bit there. But they did ask him, have you ever been in an eating contest? And he answered, yeah, a long time ago. I did a mashed potato eating contest at the Renaissance Fair back in Georgia. So he does have experience with this type of activity. He's
there's also a question, where was it asked if here it is. Do you have any regrets now that you have a criminal record? And he says no, he's basically expressing himself on it. I think this gives him legitimacy. If he goes into the art world, he will have legitimacy with a lot of people that he both protested against and created performance art of his visceral response to somebody else's exhibit.
I could see this kid. Let's say there's another notable artist out there that creates art using AI in a similar way. And then in order to pump up your opening, you invite this kid to eat your artwork. It's almost like you go. It's a way to ride the meme wave and the controversies. So this kid's going to be invited to other art galleries to eat other forms of art in protest. And it just kind of...
professional art performance artist / protester.
Yeah. I think this could be his new gig. He might not like it. He might want to be known for his art, but he doesn't know. He himself, by his act of eating art, that is his art. That's what he's going to do now. That's who he is.
And I did have the enchilada, spicy chili plate, cheese enchiladas with chili con carne, large bowl of hot chili, and I went all whole hog back then. I also had their macaroni and cheese. Okay, I'm really getting hungry now.
Yeah.
Stop slopping us.
Yes, that's what the art community is doing now. They're slopping us. That was a good follow-up. We got a little bit more of a look into this maniacal artist, both sides of it, who are just trying to make names for themselves in this crazy mixed-up world. So,
well, apparently the protest started with this guy getting upset that another student there, they were at the university has a gallery, and they put up the student artwork and all that stuff. And he was upset that some of the artwork being displayed by other students had AI in it, and apparently the art program at the university specifically forbids you using AI in your art. And so he was upset at that. So
I would be too. I don't like being told what to do. I remember there was a similar rule when Joe and I were in art school that you couldn't use Photoshop or any image processing programs. You could like 3D processing, or I guess at the time would be any sort of 3D rendering program to do like color concept courses.
Use tweening? You couldn't use your tweening?
No, like there are various design teachers that were against using Photoshop for pretty hardcore color concept and design assignments. But that was pushed back against by many students who were able to fool the teachers. And so they did their work in Photoshop or some imaging editing application, submitted it. It was in front of the class. They could not tell the difference between something that was done by real paint and brush versus like Photoshop, unless they really took a hard look at it. But they were standing at a glance 6 feet away. They couldn't tell the difference. So they, I think, dropped their guard and no longer enforced that rule. And eventually they just basically relented to the wishes of the kids.
And now it's just all AI.
Yeah, pretty much. So, all right, great. So let's see what else you got over there.
Right.
We're seeing some shit we ain't never seen before, kid.
So speaking of AI, we have our CEO from Microsoft coming out and saying, people are starting to notice that we're taking up a lot of their power. We're raising a lot of their utility costs. We're costing people a lot of money. We better get something useful out of this stuff or people are going to start really pushing back.
Yeah.
How about that, Billy boy?
Well, it wasn't Bill Gates.
Well, he's the most, I guess, prominently known CEO. So, but here's the other one, this other nerd. See, here we go. Yes. Microsoft CEO warns that we must do something useful with AI or they'll lose social permission to burn electricity on it. Yeah.
Oh, Billy boy.
That is correct. You better start doing something useful. It's already happening. It's just not happening with Microsoft. And so maybe he'll get into it. Claude Code is doing some pretty interesting things. There are other avenues to do stuff that's useful, as being discussed right now in the OBDM coding Discord. We're talking about different ways you can use AI. And
bunch of nerds in there.
Yeah, but this is the future. Let's see what Microsoft has to say about this. So in a conversation at this year's Rich Person Convention, a.k.a. the World Economic Forum, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella warned that AI will lose public support unless it's used to do something useful that changes the outcome of people and communities and countries and industries. That's a big ask.
So that is a lot, but he is saying, I think, implicitly here that the suicide chatbot is not useful.
Oh, not even in that pod? Well, quote, we will quickly lose the social permission to take something like energy, which is a scarce resource, and use it to generate these tokens if these tokens are not improving health outcomes, education outcomes, public sector efficiency, private sector competitiveness across all sectors, small and large. Right, said the CEO. And that, to me, is ultimately the goal.
Bill Gates loves you.
He's right about this. I'm not sure that your average person really knows the capabilities of some of these things. They don't see it. They probably mostly see or hear about a lot of these coding solutions. But like it's a nerd solution. Like people using these AI things like, computer programmers, engineers. These are nerd tools that are not immediately benefiting the blue-collar worker, the average citizen out there. And they're probably right because there hasn't been a consumer gadget that has been created that makes their life better. And I'm not sure that there will be one because all this technology just seems to complicate our lives more and creates more division and drama and animosity between people. So I don't know what they're going to create that alleviates any of those social stresses.
Well, and I think a lot of people are pushing back at the concept that AI is being positioned as like the next internet revolution or the personal computer revolution in the late 70s, early 80s. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near, or even if you go back almost 20 years ago, the late 20-aughts, I guess it was, with the smartphone revolution. All of a sudden, you've got all this connectivity and power in your pocket sort of thing. I don't think it's going to be on that level because that changed dramatically how people in general life can now operate, whereas these, to your point, are being used primarily as kind of niche solutions, things that you don't see, I don't interact with. It's something that's helping you as a developer or you as a cybersecurity professional improve what you're doing. But me on the outside as just Joe customer, I'm not seeing that. So when you hear about these things like, oh, the doctors can use it for, transcribing their notes faster. I'm like, great, what's that doing for me?
Bunch
and
of
yet these things are costing
nerds.
Hundreds of billions of dollars, and then they're all the different states and municipalities are competing to get them located in their community because of potential tax benefits down the road. And so they're raising everyone's utility rates, and people are getting kind of pissed at that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of payoff just yet. I'll continue reading here. Maybe he will say something that will alleviate our concerns, I suppose. Quote, the demand side of this is a little bit like every firm has to start by using it, said the CEO, throwing some of the industry standard hyperbole by calling AI a cognitive amplifier that gives you access to infinite minds. The CEO added that the AI industry needs to encourage job seekers to pick up AI skills. Undefined. He doesn't say what those AI skills are. He says you got to pick them up. In the same way people master Excel to make themselves more employable. People need to say, oh, I picked up this AI skill and now I'm a better provider of some product or service in the real economy. Well, he's not wrong there. I would say if you work with computers or if you're somewhat even technical minded, it would be worth your time to understand a little bit more about this. The problem is it is moving so quick. Even from when last year, from when I went on vacation to when I came back, in those 2 to 3 weeks, the AI coding changed dramatically, and its proficiency and approach. It's tough to keep up. And so now I'm finding myself almost every other day having to learn more about how to use these coding solutions to keep myself even not I wouldn't say relevant, just knowledgeable, because I can't even use some of these techniques in my job because they're not permitted. They're not permitted because my boss's boss don't really know about them, or because of the industry I work in, which is cybersecurity. We need to have a lot more tighter controls on some of these things. But for personal projects, I'm using it, and I'll be happy to go over what I do in the Discord, or maybe I'll do like a little stream. I know there's other people in there using it, and maybe how it can improve your day-to-day life. We'll trade knowledge. I'm sure there's a ton I do not know about it, and it might be worth it to kind of give each other pointers.
If I can make a suggestion, you could take that chatbot the guy's working on for the suicide pod. You could integrate that into the customer-facing chatbot for the password resets that people need to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm solved. Look, buddy, this is the third time in a week, so we suggest you just go get this pod.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Here's
Push
a pod.
the button.
It is crazy out there. It is. It's crazy out there. But this all ends. This article ends. There are reasons to be skeptical about the idea that we are going to recognize society around these functions. LLMs are error prone. A UK police chief just resigned over a Microsoft Copilot error, and a recent report by researchers associated with the MIT Media Lab suggests that despite billions in investment, 95% of organizations are getting zero return from adopting AI. I can see that. A lot of AI use is spinning wheels, and not a lot of people have found. You expect it to optimize and be much more efficient at doing certain things. And it is. As long as you set up your engineering workflow correctly, then it can help you. Most people think it's magic.
Even if you're using it for automating those mundane administrative tasks, you're one step away from just completely automating that work entirely. Mm-hmm. So then you don't need those people there. So
it is possible. As an example, I deployed a couple days ago. I used AI to deploy a microservice to a Kubernetes cluster. Now, had I coded this by hand, it probably would have taken me, I would say, 5 to 15 hours to test, deploy, and see results. With AI, I was able to get it done in about 5 hours. And while it was coding in the background, I was able to do other things. I was able to check in. And so it did increase my productivity, but I had to set it up. It wasn't just like I told it to go. I had to give it access to certain things. I had to write an engineering document, tell exactly what I want, what I don't want, what I expect. It takes a lot of planning. It's not magic. And so it does require a lot of upfront work to get somewhat of the answer that you're desiring. So I have a feeling the AI bubble is going to burst, and we will see not like a downturn in AI. I think we'll see smaller AI models for specific tasks that will be packaged and sold, probably for certain tasks that can run locally. They're going to have to be optimized.
I think you'll also see it integrated into larger software packages in ways that are function. Right now, everyone's kind of paying attention to that stuff. I think it'll start to fundamentally become invisible and just part of the automation. I mean, you go back to macros in Office when they introduced that 20-some years ago, 30 years ago, whenever it was. I use that crap all the time. Take a document from this, or take an export from this application, run the macro that converts stuff, and then I can import it into that one. Okay, great. If I can now automate those 2 steps and that saves me 3 minutes a week sort of thing, great. I'm all for
let's
that.
do it.
That's where it's gonna boil down to. A lot of just kind of back end, like you said, microservices that are this automatically now talks to that better or whatever. It converts to the right format. All these things. That's fantastic. I'm all for that stuff. But that's simply automating those mundane administrative tasks.
Well, Christian, let's do one more story. How about this? One more story. A special Saturdays. One last one for everyone out there. Let's do it.
Oh, man. I got a bunch here. Let's see. You want to pick? I'll give you a couple of headlines.
Yeah, sure.
Or some topics here. All right, we got some problems with an adult version of Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, boy.
Let me rephrase. A problem with a Chuck E. Cheese for adults, not an adult version.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We had a story recently about somebody who was pooping in the general direction of the cops. Now we've got somebody who's farting on them.
Wow.
And we have an album by Vinnie Vincent who he refuses to release it.
Jeez.
Vinnie Vincent of Kiss. A really good guitarist. I like that story, but I think we got to do Chuck E. Cheese. People would be very disappointed if we didn't cover Chuck E. Cheese news as soon as it happened.
So credit to our Dutch news agent, Herman, for keeping on top of the Chuck E. Cheese news. And we appreciate him. That's his beat. Yeah. Nothing but Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
All right, in Carrot Shop for you.
After less than a year, Kansas City's Chuck E. Cheese for adults closes.
This is major news.
Yeah.
That's right. Major.
It's pretty major. So Chuck's Arcade, marketed as a retro version of Chuck E. Cheese that appeals to adults, is now closed in Kansas City. Yeah.
Case closed. Time to move on.
Well, that's just disappointing because, I mean, there are other... I know some barcades around here in the Columbus area that have been successful. And so this seems like this would be right up my alley to go to a retro Chuck E. Cheese to hang out, have a good time, have a few drinks, and play video games. Like this place looks awesome. How did this fail? The sign is down, doors are locked, and the lights are off at the location at 8809 State Line Road in Kansas City. The location is marked as permanently closed on Google Maps and has been taken off Chuck E. Cheese website. Well, this is awful because this is what we want to see. We want to see these old brands that we loved re-engineered, rebooted for a new generation.
This sucks, and it sucks bad.
A company spokesperson confirmed the shutdown Thursday evening, saying that it closed January 6th. Oh, probably because of the January 6th riots from 5 years ago.
That's right. They were so upset.
Yeah, the company said the decision was part of an ongoing evaluation of concepts and development strategies to ensure alignment with our strategic goals. That didn't mean anything.
This is really, 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 really bad.
Chuck E. Cheese.
That was what the spokesperson said.
Yeah, probably. That was an official press release. Yeah.
This is ultra bad.
The Chuck E. Cheese's sister concept first opened as Peter Piper Pizzeria in 2023, but closed later last year. Okay. Peter Piper Pizzeria? That wasn't successful? I can't believe it. It reopened as Chuck E. Cheese months later, then remained open but slowly transitioned to Chuck's Arcade last summer. The decision to transition from Chuck E. Cheese to Chuck's Arcade at our Ward Parkway location reflects our commitment to evolving how we deliver fun, immersive experiences. CEC Entertainment previously said in a written statement to the Star. The concept was a rare version of the beloved brand, appealing to the nostalgia of children from the 1980s and 90s and serving alcohol. To children? Okay. At the time it opened, the company said it was rolling out just a few others in St. Petersburg, Florida, El Paso, Oklahoma City, and Salem, New Hampshire. I think we covered a story of them trying to do this. Chuck's Arcade also housed the last Chuck E. Cheese animatronic entertainment. The mouse sat motionless in the glass case with one paw raised in a greeting. So I think it's just failure in marketing at this point, failure in PR. And
I think the name change hurt them too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not the Peter Piper picks a peck of pickled peppers, whatever the hell it was called, but when they changed, they called it the Chuck's Arcade, trying to make it more upscale and adult. The name people recognize is Chuck E. Cheese.
Unfortunately, and they
should have called it Chuck E. Cheese, no kids.
It's a tough one. It is. It's a tough one.
I don't think he's even gay.
Okay, well, I don't think Chuck E. Cheese is. No.
You know, maybe.
Yeah.
Hot dogs is male gay prostitutes.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for hanging out on Saturday with us. You can go to obdmpod.com or ourbigdumbmouth.com if you want to support the show. There's many ways to do that. You just a flat-out donation to Patreon or join the a flat-out donation to PayPal or join the Patreon for additional content and access to the Discord. And I will go over all the wonderful things that were sent to the P.O. box on Wednesday. Big
Apparently some sort of fudge voodoo doll?
I got some fudge. I got a doll and some other things. Yeah.
Yeah. Next level.
And we'll check in with Joe, make sure that he has survived the winter apocalypse 2026 down there in San Antonio. And I'm an experienced person when it comes to winter activities. So don't worry about me. We'll be fine.
Yeah, apparently he went to pick up his car or something.
Yeah. Don't worry about me. I am a responsible high school graduate. I can navigate the snow. Don't know what that is, but yes.
And grab your ass with both hands because they're coming for you.
That is true. That is true.
Put your wife against the car and just start ramming?
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. What was that? Yep.
Land of the free, home of the brave, state police nationwide. Pull you over, put your wife on the hood, put a glove on, and just start ramming. I love to do imitations, as everybody knows.
That is true. Everyone knows that. And, yeah.
They have the same birthday as Adolf Hitler.
Okay. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you, Cratchit. Thank you, everyone. Shab Lagoo.
Keep watching the skis and go watch the skies.
That's good news.
No nation has taken
I'm all right. Golden shower.
I've had enough
Calm down. Don't be so
That's
crazy.
what we're using as an open sewer.
That's about all.
Shablagu. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time, take care of yourself. And each other.
Until next week, Nanu. Nanu.
Stop slopping us.